You know, with the amount of good artists out there, there's also an equal amount of bad, you know? You find all these good artists that you like and you enjoy, and then there's obviously got to be the bad. And the bad, you know, they leave a bad taste in your mouth, and it's just these bad artists, you know, they're bad. You don't want to listen to them, you don't want to hear about them, and sadly, those are the ones who usually get popular. And those artists, you know, I mean, at least they try to make something good. They'll be bad, and sure, there will be generic moments, but they try to make something good. And then there's Riot 10. Riot 10 is possibly one of the most vile artists I have put myself through. And this is coming from a person who has listened to Little Texas. And while Little Texas is bad and everything, I think there's a certain type of person who can enjoy his music, or, like, you know, listen to that BPM and, you know, like it. But then Riot 10 just seems to be like a problem for me, because it's like there's people like Slander, there's people like Wooly, where I don't really get why people like them. They're pretty generic, but I guess there's some sort of originality sometimes. Even with Slander, people are like, oh yeah, they're the least original artist, but there's some sort of originality. And then we get Riot 10. Riot 10 released 2 EPs before this, both of them trying to copy Company and Mastodon. And some other artists that I'm probably forgetting about. And you hear that bike there? That bike right there was more entertaining than the last 30 minutes of my life, because I had to listen to Hype or Die and Nightmares. Now, this album, if you can even call it an album, clocking in at a whopping 27 minutes and 10 songs with an intro. Most of the songs aren't full songs, and usually I wouldn't say that, because, like, yeah, even with 2 minutes you can get your point across, but not when you're Riot 10. In fact, I don't even think there is a point, because it's just there. At first, I thought it was just going to be like the EPs, where it's a blatant copy of Mastodon, Any Hardcore Artists, or Company. And sure, those songs were really bad. They were really, really bad. But not only did he try to offend one genre of music, he tried to offend like 4 here. And he did all of them on justice. See, there's like 5 rap songs on this album or something, I don't even remember. But they all fucking suck. There's so many EDM artists, there's so many like rap artists you could get on your EDM song that at least sound decent. Yeah, decent, sorry, not decent. Fucking, I'm sorry, this album's just like fucked me up. There's people like Virus Syndicate, Volcatron. Hell, even before these, you got like Bach Nero on like every song. And I wouldn't mind that, because he at least has some semblance of originality and can write lyrics that don't give me just the worst feeling in the world possible. Some of the lyrics on this album are so fucking stupid, they just make my mind implode. Like, I'm not going to tell you all of them here, but I'm going to give you 2 here. I fuck a lot of women. Now that right there, let's just, that's a crazy good line. Because if you think about it, this rapper sleeps with the opposite gender. Now, you may have never thought of that idea, but it's a common thing that some people do in their lives. And rappers feel the need to brag about it. And usually they'll put some spin on it, like, I put my dick in a toaster, or some shit, or something funny, or like, you know, something at least a tiny bit original. But no, this man goes with, I fuck a lot of women. And that That right there is one of the best lines I've heard in my life. Now that I'm done saying that line, let me just bring up another line on this amazing album. You know what? I just like, I don't know if you guys are ready for this. Acting like we homies, but you're hating on me low key. Now, if that's not the best line I've ever heard in my life, I don't know what is. But in all seriousness, like, the lyrics on this album have the least amount of substance I've heard in anything. There's more substance in a piece of bread than there is in these lyrics. And I know that's a dumb thing to say, but there literally is more substance in a piece of fucking bread than there is in these lyrics. My least favorites on the album would be Never Win, Freaky VIP, Showdown, No Ceilings, Freaky, Bodies, Hyphy, and Glocks. So basically every song that isn't the last and the first one. The first one kind of sucked, but I guess I could see someone enjoying it at some point in time. It's not very original, but I could see someone enjoying it. And the last song was okay if it went on for, surprisingly enough, like, funnily enough, as long as the other songs. But it went on for 2 minutes longer because it was the only one that didn't need to be longer. But, you know, that's fine. That song was okay. I'd give it like a 2. I'd give the intro like a 2. And the rest of the album, it's just terrible. Freaky VIP is like this horrible combination of bass house and mid-tempo, and it's just terrible. And don't even get me started on like Bodies. Titus is just like one of the worst rappers I've heard in my life. I wish I had, like, you know, like more tone or, like, you know, more life in this. But I just wanted to get this out to warn anybody who ever thought about clicking on this album at any point. Don't do it. Like, I'm just warning you. You'd really regret it. This album is the worst album I've ever heard, actually. I gave it a 0.5 because at least 2 of the songs had some redeemable parts, but the rest were all zeros. I'm actually just flabbergasted at how bad this is. That's all I gotta say.